Greetings, I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech. And we're back to work a little bit more on the donut. What do you think of this coloring so far? Is it obvious? I'm trying. So the number one suggestion I had for colors was color it like a donut. So I thought, what is the most iconic donut that I could imagine? And that is the one that Homer Simpson always seems to have from The Simpsons. I'm sure you've heard of it. And so I went and found some pictures. I tried to pick some colors just like, or as close to, Homer Simpson's donut as possible. What do you think? Did I do a good job? Let me know. I know it needs sprinkles, and I think we should throw some other stuff in there. And then I've got some ideas for making it look a little better, but just the colors themselves, I think are pretty darn good. I realized actually during editing of the last episode that vent shows 4 green lights, not because that vent had anything to do with pressurizing this area, but because this area was pressurized by the vents up in the observatory up there. That vent is completely useless because it's attached to that conveyor, which is attached to a conveyor inside the wall, which is attached to that conveyor, which is attached to those 2 vents, and that's it. Those vents aren't actually attached to actual piping of any kind, so they're useless. We need to actually do some work with that. So we're going to start by removing this vent and throwing in some conveyor tubes and connecting up to this guy over here. And that'll provide oxygen for the main cabin while we're on the move. I want to make sure that we have a few different things. One, we need to have thrusters so that we can come back up. We need to have thrusters that keep us away from the tower. And then we need to have thrusters to accelerate downward, but we don't really need to continue that acceleration. So we just need something to push off with. So I think the thrusters pointing, the thrusters on the top that are pointing up, so giving us downward thrust, can be just ion thrusters. They don't actually need to be anything else, because as long as we're in atmosphere where ion thrusters aren't going to really work, we don't need those, because we're not going to be really coming to a stop at a, very, very quickly. And even in an emergency, we can just shut off the upward thrusters, and gravity should help with that. And as long as we start slowing our descent early, or ascent early enough, then our upward facing thrusters should be able to bring us to a stop. If we're going to use hydrogen thrusters, which I want to do for pretty much everywhere except for that upward facing thrust, we're going to need some piping on the bottom of this whole thing. And I don't want to block this window at all. I think I should just put a ring of conveyors kind of out to the corners. Is this thinner on this side than the other side? Did I actually do that? I actually did that. Wait. Half block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half block. 1, 2, 3. It is dramatically thinner on that side. Well, that's no good. Not if it's going to be a donut. It's going to be an odd-shaped donut. Not acceptable. I'm okay with this one being just 1 wider. Though it doesn't really need to be, does it? Oh, the piston. That's right. You know what? I'm going to take off the back wall here. And then we're going to add... Well, we don't really need to add one to the front, because we've got this kind of sloped wall, and that's really... it's good enough. I mean, I'm okay. As long as we remove this, then it's almost round. At least it won't be obviously not round, if you know what I mean. So we've got some rework to do, that's for sure. And I kind of want this to have the same slanted shape on all sides. So let's see. That's the middle right there. Wow. That does not look much like the middle, does it? We might have to do something very different with our hydrogen bottles. And that's like the first of the hydrogen tanks. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Okay, so can we move these pipes? No. I can attach to here. I can also put the piping all underneath, which I think might be my best bet. This is where it should start angling in. Just like the other side. And this is a regular 45-degree angle. Now, since this side, no matter what I do, is going to have to be one thicker, let's just kind of make it slightly off-center. We're going to kind of need that extra area. So that's going to be the shape that we're working with. Now, for a good donut, it actually needs to be a little bit thicker anyway, like meatier. I mean, come on, it's a donut. You want more donut. So let's go ahead and add this on. This'll hide all of our piping, and then we'll angle the bottom. Yeah, okay. Now my next question is, do I want to try to use lots of little thrusters or lots of little thrusters? Okay, got it. Well, not necessarily. Let's do something. If I remove that, and I put a large hydrogen thruster right there. First of all, is that the corner I expect it to be? It's a little bit off. It's okay. How big of a profile are we going to end up with? Like how horrible is that going to look? It's not so bad. Let's see. Let's put the skirt on. Okay, so there'll be a little bit of a visible thruster there. That's okay. It's a little bit thicker of a donut than I wanted. If we're going to have this big of a skirt anyway, and we're going to have all these thrusters down here, then who's to say we can't just have our hydrogen tanks down here? So I should be able to lower these tanks by 1 or even 2, and then I can kind of push them this direction, saving me some space. There we go. That gives us a little bit more space up here for other things like generators and batteries and whatever we might want to put up here, as well as that acts as our conveyor network. So now if we want to, we could put the large hydrogen thruster, but I'm thinking what we could do instead is a series of small hydrogen thrusters on conveyor junctions. There. Ooh, good stuff. Now we should be able to mirror that basic shape on the other side, and possibly even on all 4 corners. We can then actually have our thrusters, our readjustment thrusters like that. So that's missing the tower if it's pushing away from it that direction. Yeah, something like that. We'll see. Okay. I think that's the same. Sure looks the same to me. Oh, but I just realized I don't think I'm going to be able to put the tank here because I think... Yeah. That's actually in the passenger cabin. Okay. So we'll just have pipes there. Okay, I think I'm pretty close to... Oh, nope. Nope. I need to fix the top. It's rounded on the bottom. It's not rounded on the top. I don't like it. Oh, but then that... It's never easy, is it? Well, at least parts of it. Okay, that's better. I'll figure out what to do with these angles a little bit later. Pretty good? Okay? Not bad? Okay, underneath, got everything piped in. I'm going to try and cover up as much as I can, but you can also see that I've got my thrusters pointing in 4 different directions. So we've got that one pointing this way, this one pointing that way. You get the idea. And that should be fine. 1, 2, 3. I think small thrusters are 3 blocks, so we should be okay. If not, we should be able to move these back. We'll have to see. I'm a little surprised that these hydrogen tanks aren't full. Filled 0. Stockpile off. Stockpile on. Stockpile off. Okay, well, something somewhere isn't connected. I know that's connected. Just connected to that all the way around. This is connected to that, which goes up and connects into the piston. Let's go in here and take a look. Yeah, so that goes to there, to there. Let's go make sure that everything's still sealed in here. It is sealed here. This is good. I can see I've got some blocks to repaint, because we're not going to be using this blue. Okay, we're getting oxygen and hydrogen through to this point. So that suggests to me that those hydrogen tanks should be full. So how about these tanks? Aha, they are finally filling. Just took them a while. Good, and they're filling fairly quickly. Yeah, that should be good. Oh, which direction was that? Oh, I don't know. The wrong one. That's the direction it was. Okay, so now from here we'll be able to look out and see what's going on. Okay. Now, all the remaining space is available for us for programmable blocks and batteries and anything else we need. Oh, for example, at one point in time, I had an oxygen tank. I should probably put one back. We'll just do a sliding door here. And then this is all just going to be open, unfortunately. It's just kind of the way it's going to have to be. But that's okay. So I think if we seal this and this area should go green. Oh, yep, there we go. Okay, so this area is now oxygenated. And I'm thinking we could even treat this area like an airlock. And if we do that, then we can remove this airlock and turn it back into a sliding door. Okay. Yeah, this is a good thing. So this is where all the computer, the automation, even the actual driving will be done from here. Actually thinking, yeah, that's a slope. Yeah, let's go ahead and put a window here as well. And then we'll actually put our captain's chair or whatever here. Don't think we'll ever want an actual flight station here. We'll just do the control station. And then we can set up, for example, that button, depressurize on off. So that'll actually, so this area, while it's not depressurized, it at least isn't going to try to do anything with it. Yeah, we'll eventually get to something a little more elegant than that, but it's okay if we just open this up and let all the air out. Okay, we're going to need power. I'm thinking we can get away with just a few batteries. So if we just go battery, 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 like that, honestly, those three should be plenty. And we can find out later. But while those are going, let's start looking at what other thrusters we might need. We've got a whole bunch of hydrogen thrusters. Probably going to need some gyros, mostly for just in case. We'll put them along here. Looks good to me. Okay. So we have power, we have oxygen, we have hydrogen, we have rotation. We can go left, right, up, down, and oh, this is open. Didn't mean for that to be open, but you know what? I'm actually okay with that. Wait, am I? Yes, because that's where it's going to seal. So other than some ions pointing up, which I think would probably be a good idea, I'm going to put one ion right here. I think it'll fit. It might not fit. Large ions are large. There, and it's not going to fit. Okay. So we will go with small ions. And we'll just go ahead and do that. That works. And so we're going to put in some light. And this is mostly a vanilla build, so I'm going to go with standard lights and not use extremes. So we'll put one there and there. Of course, the default settings for lights in this game are kind of ridiculous. And let's set the radius to max. And we'll go up on the intensity a tad. There we go. For a maintenance area, that's not too bad. For a control room, this is pretty good. And we can't really rely on the sun to always be there, so let's throw some of these in. Did I put that window in upside down? Why the heck did I put that window in upside down? There we go. There we go. 3 lights in here. Max out that radius. And we'll actually leave the intensity as is to make it a little bit more pleasant for our guests. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is set up my sensors. And this is where it's going to get real interesting. For one thing, those are half blocks. So, yeah. First, let's go in and fill in the bottom with armor blocks. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't think about it. I can't have the thrusters there. They have to sit back at least one from where they are. Okay, so this one's going to be easy to move back. This one will be easy to move back. This one, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. This one, I'll actually have to remove a thruster. Okay, so this one... Alright, let's fill in what we can. Now, I think we can get away with going ahead and putting in these angled bits just to make it look a little prettier. Make it feel like it's intentional. Designed by somebody that knows what they're doing. Instead of me. Okay, that does make it look a fair amount better from the bottom. Yes, unfortunately, there is still those hydrogen tanks, but that's okay. So I'm thinking this is going to be the easiest one right here. So let's go ahead and put the sensor right here. I don't have the right part, but I have a place where I can get it. That's easy inventory, by the way. Highly recommended. Let's do this. Okay, so this is sensor front. SSDT. Sensor front. I know that I don't care about left, right, back, top, or bottom. It's all about front. Large ships and stations, because I think some parts of the tower are technically large ships, while others are technically stations. Good. Good. That's what I want. Except it's a little bit too far. Front extent. So right now we're at 4.78. So if we do 4.75, we're looking at some odd graphical glitches there. It's like got a extra little shadow on it. Okay. Anyway, so if this side gets any closer to the tower than that, which I think if you ignore the background, it's a little weird. Let's go, here we go. This is a little easier to see. So if it gets any closer than that, then it's going to fire the thrusters. It's going to fire that thruster specifically. And it's only going to fire it while it's still within range. So it should keep it away from the tower, but fairly close, because the other side's going to have the exact same thing. All of them look about right, except this one needs to be a little bit longer. We're going to add 2 blocks, which is 5. So we're going to be at 9.75, I think. Should do it. Yeah, there we go. So each one of these is just barely off the tower. So hopefully we might have to fiddle with this a little bit, but hopefully this will work. It'll keep it from drifting. So now the question is, how do I figure out which hydrogen thruster is which? I think I know. Now, there's a few different ways to do it. One is to remove them, rename all the other ones, and then create new ones, and they should be the only 4 with the default name. The other is to show on HUD, and then I'll get a little icon along with about 1,000 others. But the other trick is to damage it and find the one that's damaged quickly before Igor finds it. There we go. So we know which one that is now, and that one is pointing, let's see, that one is going to be triggered by this sensor here, which is sensor right. So we're going to call that one thruster right. I don't know why I'm going over there. I have a control panel right here. So we're going to call this SSDT hydrogen adjust right. And that means the one on the opposite side should be left. This one should be front and back. So now let's see if we can... Actually, I'm curious if placing a floating block will trigger that sensor. It looks like it does. Perfect. So this one is back, and we're going to toggle block on when it's detected and off when it's no longer detected, which means that if I do this again, it should do nothing until I grind it down, and then it should turn off. Yep, good. That's exactly what we want. So those are all set, and we can actually go in and turn them all off by hand. And then I also want the thrust override. Well, actually, let's do that from the cockpit. What do you say we disconnect this thing and see if it immediately explodes or what? I'm a little nervous about this. Okay. So first, we have full batteries. That's good news. We have a full oxygen tank. We have a full hydrogen tank. At least one, probably two. I want to make sure that these are not set to stockpile. They are not. We can leave everything open for right now. Oh. Just realized I'm going to actually need a door of some kind there so that we're not leaking air. You know what? We'll do that after we're disconnected. That'll be fine. Merge block, SSDT, toggle block on off. For now, I think that's all we're going to need. Ooh. Let's do a quick save. Shall we see what happens when I disconnect these merge blocks? Okay. Please don't explode. Pretty sure we're disconnected. Oh, that's... Why is that white? It's not pressurized, but still, why is that white? Okay, we do not have merge blocks. Oh! We're still connected. Okay. So the other thing we need is the SSDT connector switch lock. Now if I hit 2 and then C, look at that. Why, I do believe we have a functional elevator. We do have a few more things to change. And let's see. According to this, our battery will last for 8 days. That'll work. Our hydrogen tanks are 100% full. And things seem to be functioning. Are any of these triggered? Is that's blue. Okay. So none of the sensors are triggered, which means we're not closer on one side than the other. We'll get to that in a second. I want to do some of the things that I've been waiting for disconnect for, like recoloring. Because those have been bugging me and there was no way for me to get to them. There we go. And then, as I mentioned, we need a door here. We'll let Igor finish that up when we reconnect. I'd say I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, let's test out... Oh, yeah, this is already twisted. You see that? So we're going to have to deal with that. I've got a few ideas for how to. But let's first test our tower avoidance system. And I'm going to start by taking those adjust thrusters. And I'm going to set the thrust override. Hang on, those should be off. Don't know why they were on. I'm going to set the thrust override to a very small amount. Okay, now if I... Oh, I have no way of turning. So I think if I just start going down, it's not going to be at an exactly correct angle. Aha! There you go. You see that thruster? It's trying. It's not able. Okay, let's get those overrides higher. There we go. So now as soon as it gets out of range, the other one fires up. And it's trying to get it back in range. Is there smoke? Oh, I forgot to actually pull the piston in. Piston, where's the piston? I don't like smoke. Okay, how is this auto adjust working? So that's moving it that way. That's moving it that way. And now we're going that way. It is keeping it from hitting, which is nice. But it is also kind of going back and forth and back and forth. And I think it's actually doing worse and worse. We need to fix a few things. So let's take over. And one of the things we need to do is make this thing a little straighter. And I think that once this thing is straight, we really probably should override and turn off the gyros. And then I don't want to turn them off right now. Whoa, okay, upward thrust has plenty. Oh, that wasn't a good sound. That wasn't a good sound at all. What did I break? Oh, part of the issue is those merge blocks. The wrong ones are trying to connect. Oh, God. Forgot about how strong the forward thrusters are. I need to do an override on those. Maybe turn most of them off or something. Wonder how many of those we broke. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go see how much damage we did. And we'll let Igor fix up a lot of it. And we definitely have some changes to make. But as a maiden voyage, the tower did not collapse. I think overall it wasn't too bad. Let's actually reconnect this. Actually, I'd kind of like to have... Yeah, let's set this control panel up to do this. So we should now be able to hit the first one. And then the second one. And then I could go find my script from the tree and make that an automated process too. Since we're starting off by definition aligned with the tower, because right now we're actually part of the same grid, then if we don't do anything and there's no collisions, which I think it might have actually been the connector that caused our initial twist, then I think we should stay pretty well straight and we won't have that issue. And then small adjustments from the automatic system that I created should be all that's necessary. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I like the progress we've gotten so far, and I think we're not too far from making our first trip all the way down to the planet. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to leave that hole to remind me to put in parachutes. We'll talk about that next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up button. I know we didn't do anything amazingly spectacular, but I think we made some really good progress, and we are well on our way. So, you know what to do. I'll see you next time on Epic Tech.